Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel, Learn Math with Syed Ali. One of my 10th grader has sent me this word problem regarding parabolic motion or regarding parabola or quadratic functions, quadratic equations. We have been doing this, and before reading this question, I would like to give you the formula, which is factored form of the quadratic equation. The factored form of quadratic equation is a times x minus r times x minus s. This is factored form of quadratic equation, where r and s are the two intercepts or x-intercepts, where r and s are two x-intercepts. So if we remember this is our understanding that this is my equation where r and s are two intercepts, two x-intercept, right? So I will make x bigger so that you can read it, x-intercept, where r and s are x-intercept, right? And another thing which I would like to revise before you go into the question, so everybody know this formula. And the second thing is axis of symmetry. We learned from our previous classes or lectures that axis of symmetry is the line which is mirror, right? So every point on the parabola is mirror across this axis of symmetry or line of symmetry. Symmetry, right? So an axis of symmetry has a very interesting calculation, because if you know the two x-intercepts, so if you know the two x-intercepts, right? So these are the two x-intercepts, x1 and x2, or r1 and rs. You can say r and s. These are the two x-intercepts, right? Where r and s are the two x-intercepts, right? So these are the two. If you add those two and divide it by 2, you will get equation for axis of symmetry, right? So you will get axis of symmetry if you have r and s values, like two intercepts values. So this is your axis of symmetry. Wherever you see two x-intercepts, you can add them, divide by 2. That will be the equation of x is equals to something, right? X is equals to 0 is the y-axis. Yeah, one more thing I would like to revise here, that when x-intercepts are opposite value, x-intercepts are of opposite value. When x-intercepts are of opposite values, the vertex has s coordinate of 0. The vertex has x coordinate of 0. What does it mean? If x coordinate is 0, that means axis of symmetry is x is equals to 0. That means axis of symmetry is x is equals to 0. And x is equals to 0 means y-axis. X is equals to 0 means y-axis, right? So that is the one we learned. But if you have some x-intercepts, then you will be doing r plus s divided by 2. And that value will be x is equals to that value, whatever you get from here, right? So that is your x value, right? So these two things are important, which we have been doing since we started this topic. So here is the question. A soccer ball is kicked off. A soccer ball is kicked off from a point 23 meters to the left of the hallway line and lands at the point 17 meters to the right of the hallway line. It reaches to a maximum height of 10 meters during the parabolic flight. So the important thing here is that if the hallway is at origin, so we have to see that if hallway is at origin, right? So if it is, so I am drawing a rough sketch for you here, that if my 0, 0, this is my hallway and this is my 0, 0, right? So the ball is kicked off 23 meters from the left. So this is my 23 meters, and it lands, it goes up and then it lands somewhere 17 meters. So this is my 17 meters, right? It lands here. So if two intercepts are given, what we have to do, we have to find out what my axis of symmetry is. So my axis of symmetry is minus 23 plus 17 divided by 2. So I got minus 6 over 2, which is equals to minus 3. That means x is equals to minus 3 is my axis of symmetry. So where I am, let me say that this is my axis of symmetry, right? So this is my axis of symmetry, and the maximum point will be on this axis of symmetry. And then it lands here, right? So it's not that much correct, so I will redo it. So yeah, so my highest point is this point, which I can say that this is my minus 3. Okay, it's a rough graph, right? So this is my minus 3. So it's now every point of the parabola is lying mirror to this axis of symmetry. So I have my axis of symmetry and I draw the parabola. He's saying that sketch the graph to show the flight of the soccer ball if the hallway line passes through the origin. If the hallway line passes through the origin, you have to show, if your graph paper is there, you can take some scale. 23 is here, or you can count 23, and 17 is here, and just you need to know what your axis of symmetry is. If your axis of symmetry is known, then you can know the vertex. What is your vertex? So is the maximum point. X coordinate is known now, minus 3. What is your y coordinate? What is the maximum it achieve, right? What is the maximum it can go? So this is given actually. So 3 and 10 is the vertex, right? 10 meter. Height of the 10 meter. So this is your vertex, minus 3 and 10. So if you have 3 points, you can draw your parabola. And this is your first question. Sketch the graph to show the flight of the soccer ball if the hallway passes through the origin. So you have your x-intercept, that is minus 23 and 0. These are also called two zeros, right? So, and the other one is 17 and 0. And your axis of symmetry is this. So you have your vertex, minus 3 and 10. 10 is given, minus 3 you calculate, right? So you have your axis of symmetry, you have your vertex, and you have your two intercepts. So you can draw the parabola. So hope you understand it thoroughly or clearly. If you have questions, you can send me questions to my email or to my comment section. And now we do the second part, determine the equation to represent the path of the soccer ball. How to determine an equation for this? So I already told you that we done the intercepts form. So two intercepts form. If two intercepts form are given, the equation is y is equals to a times x minus r and x minus s. And now we have to see. And since this parabola is downward, that means my a should be negative. That much I know. But I don't know the value of a. What I don't know is value of a. So since on this parabola, two intercepts and 1 point is known, we can get a by putting values into this equation. So what is my equation? My equation is y is equals to a times x minus r times x minus s. So y is equals to a times, I don't know a, I am calculating a. So what is my y? Y is my 10. X minus r. What is my r? X intercept 23. What is my x? Minus 3. Right? So x minus, so x minus r, minus minus plus because r is negative. Because this is negative. So it becomes positive, right? Yeah. X, what is x? Minus 3. Minus 17. So 10 is equals to a times 20 minus 3 is 20. this becomes minus 20. So this becomes 400. And we need to calculate A. So A is equals to 10 divided by 400. And it is minus. So A is equals to 0 cancels with 0. So minus 1 over 40. This is the value of A. Once we know the value of A, we can determine the equation to represent the path of the soccer ball. So we will substitute back this value of A into this equation, which is my generic equation for intercepts form. Right? So I will put this back into the equation and then I will have my equation. So what is my equation now? Y is equals to, we will say Y is equals to minus 1 over 40. Right? X minus R, but that is minus 23, so X plus 23, and second bracket X minus 17. This is my equation of this path of the parabola where the soccer ball is traveling, right? So it was an easy question, but you need to know the basics. Basics are all here. So what is the factored form of the parabola? Factored form of the parabola is y is equals to a times x minus r and x minus s, right? So where a is the same thing which a is in your vertex form or in your standard form, right? So we learn that how to plot it and how to find out the equation if the two intercepts and the vertex and the point of the parabola is given. So if any point of the parabola is given and two of the intercepts are given, you can find out, or you can write the equation of the parabola and you can sketch the graph as well. Hope you understand the video. If you understand it, subscribe my channel, press the bell icon button to receive another video. Thank you for watching.